Welcome into the Cougar Cast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, and I say this statement all the time because it's true. This is the place to get all the information on what's going on at the IU Kokomo Athletic Department. And joining us today is the Assistant Athletic Director at IUK, Mr. Brent Martin. Brent, welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
No problem. This is one of those times of year that basketball's there. You want to get women's volleyball tournament that they're going to be playing in. But also it's cold outside. We got snow. Are you a fan of snow before Christmas?
I am not. No. Give me. I'm a golfer, so give me all the hot weather and the 90 degrees over the snow and cold any day.
No, I'm not either. The older I get, I like snow more, but it just means cold, and I don't want cold this time of year. Give me cold and snow on Christmas, maybe a little bit on New Year's, but after that, I'm good. I'm not a golfer like yourself, but I'm comfortable moving the snow back towards the end of December. Just have it hit at that point in time. After that, I'm like you. Give me sunshine, blue skies, nice weather. I'm good to go.
Yeah. Well, I think we both need to move then if that's the case, because that's probably not going to happen very often, but we're good.
Probably not. What is going to happen, though, is the IUK women's volleyball team is going to be, not going to be in Iowa. They're currently in Iowa,
yes,
setting up to play in pool play in the NAIA Women's Volleyball Championship. From your standpoint as the assistant AD, what do you see and how do you feel having the volleyball team be playing in this stage of the tournament?
So the women's volleyball team has been hugely successful for IUK. They're very important to the school, the athletic department. They've been winning on a national level for many years. And so to have them go out to Iowa and represent in the final 24 teams in the national tournament against some really good competition is awesome. There's a buzz kind of going around the campus and lots of people are talking about them. We had a great run in the conference tournament and then in the first opening round last Saturday, which then qualified them for the final site. And so it's a buzz and it's been really fun.
You know, I was there at the opening round game when they played Morningside, and I heard there were almost 650 people there on campus, and there was a buzz. I'm not around campus all the time to hear about the buzz there. There was definitely a different feel heading into the start of that match, and then win the first set, drop the second, then win the third, win the fourth, and seeing the girls celebrate there on the court as Strasma hit that spike to score the final point. It was fun to watch. And just see the girls celebrate the success that they've had this season and how the success is having them play in Iowa later this week.
Right. So, yeah, the volleyball team is on a huge win streak, and it kind of all came to a huge culmination there in that last, for sure the last home match of those seniors' careers. So they were extra amped for that. The athletic department did a great job of kind of promoting it, and we had the community support, and we had, faculty, staff, and other teams there, and it was just really a really fun environment. In my basically 3 seasons that I've been here, it was pretty at the top of that list.
It definitely was, and there's also not just success at the volleyball level, but also men's and women's basketball both have winning records. And I got a text from you earlier today saying they're both starting conference play this week.
Right. They're both heading out to Richmond conference. We'll call it rival, I guess.
Yeah.
Heading to Richmond to play the Red Wolves of IU East. The men currently sitting at 8-0. The women sitting at 3-2. Both looking to climb the top of those rankings for the River States, and it's a grind. So this is kind of the start of the real season, is what most college basketball coaches would say. Is the real season starts now.
How would you say what's impressed you from seeing the men or even the women play so far this year? I know it's early in the year. Women's played 5 games, men have played 8. But what's kind of impressed you from your standpoint from both programs so far?
We'll go ahead and we'll start with the women. So the women are 3-2. They're coming off a huge win at home. It was just kind of the perfect storm. They played really good defense. They made a bunch of shots. They scored a lot of points, had a dominant 20-point win over Bethel, which anytime you can beat a team from the Crossroads, that's great. And so they've been working really hard. They've been just in the gym. I see them all the time shooting and doing their shooting drills, and they're working really hard, and it looks like it's starting to pay off.
And then for the men as well, I mean, undefeated is 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. That's always great. Right. To win your first 8 games of the season, that has to be special. I had a couple of chances to talk to Coach Eckelbarger about the team, and he's excited. But also starting 8-0 and them also starting their conference play this week against the same school in IU East. That's great. But what's kind of hit you and kind of maybe impressed you about that program?
So the men have actually only played at home one time. And
that's
so
right.
They've been on the road. And so that's super impressive. They've been to Tennessee. They played in a tournament called The Show, which is kind of a legendary NAI basketball tournament. They went 2-0 there. They went to a very successful program in William Penn, beat them, knocked them off when they were ranked 19th in the nation. All of these are on the road. And so without the comfort of being at home, to go out on the road and travel and just go undefeated, and come back home is super encouraging. And we're really excited for the conference season.
You know, that's going to be huge in people that in the area in Kokomo or even outside the county that may want to come in and watch the men or women. I know they used to play downtown Kokomo. Are all their games currently played on campus at IUK?
Yep. So they're in the Student Activities and Event Center, same place you'd come to watch the volleyball team. And they typically, once we get into conference play, they do a lot of double headers. So you can kind of knock out both teams for one night, and you can watch the women play and then the men right after that.
So 2 games for the price of 1. That sounds good to me.
Right. Yeah, we love the support. We love having the community. Shout out to the community. We'd love to have you guys come. We've got players from all over, Howard County, all over the state, lots of people local, nearby. So it's always great to see the community come and support. What's
one of these special things about this time of year with the basketball, both men's and women's going on campus? Got to hear a little bit earlier about how soccer success and volleyball success during the fall seasons kind of had a little bit of a buzz around campus for those programs. Is it a special feeling on campus when men and women are both playing basketball? So yeah, in my world, we call that crossover season. Yeah. So we're crossing over between the fall sports ending and the winter sports starting, which is super busy, but also there's a buzz, and we're hoping to carry that buzz and that momentum into the basketball season. We've got the only other winter sport that would play would be indoor track, and so they're going to start their season up at the end of this week, and so it's been a really busy time. But that momentum from women's soccer and women's volleyball. They've kind of set the standard. Yeah. So all of us other coaches, all the other teams, we're just trying to keep that same standard and keep that momentum going. So you mentioned indoor track, and I think I saw that but didn't write it down. Forgive me. So they are starting their indoor season, you said later this week? Yeah, so they go later this week down in Indianapolis at UND. Mm-hmm. And so they will play and they will compete in the indoor season, which is kind of a kickoff and a beginning to the whole track season. So a lot of them do cross country in the fall, and then in the winter they do basically the indoor version of the outdoor track and field events. So indoor track and outdoor track, are those still 2 separate seasons? So I'm getting at, in my head, is there a champion of the indoor track and a champion of the outdoor track at the NAIA level? There is. You can be they do a little bit different events as far as I know. Mm-hmm. They, instead of doing the 100-yard dash, the shortest distance would be like a 60-yard. Mm-hmm. So because you're indoors, usually in field houses. So the events are a little different, but yeah, they run the mile, they do relays, they do pole vault, they do all that, all the stuff that you can be a national champion outdoor, you can also win on the indoor. That's amazing. And University of Indianapolis is not far away. So if people wanted to drive down 31 and go right down there, south side of Indianapolis, I would greatly encourage that. I've been on campus there maybe once in my life. I'm from Indianapolis, but I haven't really been there very much. But it's definitely a great place to go. I have buddies that went there to school. They loved it. It's not a far drive. And so if you want to get out there and watch them, I'm saying this like I know spectators can attend. I don't know. Do you know if they're allowed to? Spectators are allowed. And if you've ever seen an indoor cross-country event, it's nuts. It's awesome. There's people running. It's kind of all compacted into a big gymnasium. And so you've got, at least in my experience, you've got the lanes are going this way, the lanes are going that way. There might be somebody pole vaulting on this side, and there might be long jump going on the other side. And then
a 400 running around the track. So it can be, make sure you know where you're going, make sure you know what you're looking for. But no, it's really fun. It's super fast. It's active. There's lots of action going.
Last thing here with Brent, we touched on women's basketball playing IU East this week, touched on men's basketball playing IU East this week on back-to-back days, Tuesday and Wednesday. We know volleyball's playing. Who is volleyball playing later this week at the national tournament?
So they are in pods of 3. So we've got 8 groups of 3. So we're in a pod with Oklahoma Wesleyan, which is ranked number 23. And then we're ranked number 15. And then the third school is Indiana Wesleyan, and they're ranked number 2. So we've got some familiar schools that we're playing against. Indiana Wesleyan's currently on a 33-match win streak, which is the only school in the nation that tops ours.
Wow.
And so it tops ours. They're 33-0. So that'll be a tough one. That's going to be on Friday. Both matches are at 11 a.m. local time. And so they will play Oklahoma Wesleyan on Thursday, and then they'll play Indiana Wesleyan on Friday.
Are those games available to be streamed? Since unless people want to go to Iowa, be our guest, definitely go out there. But for people that are staying home this week but still want to be able to watch, will those games be available for streaming?
Yeah, we're actually going to be streaming all the games on campus at the IQ wall. So if you're an IUK student, you'll know right where that is. And so athletics is going to be there. We're going to have a watch party there. So if you're local, you want to come watch them on campus, feel free to. But also you can sign up and pay for it online if you prefer to watch it online. I
really appreciate Brent Martin for coming on the show, the assistant athletic director at IUK, helping us learn about indoor track and field, the volleyball team playing in the national tournament, what's going on with men's and women's basketball as they open up conference play this week. This has been the Cougar Cast. We'll see you next week.